So the resin that I use is going to be Be Resin, equal parts A and B. You just mix it together for about, I would say, 3 to 5 minutes, depending on how much you're pouring. For this circular 3-tray mold, I am doing this as a gift for a friend. I've never tried this technique before, so I had seen another YouTube creator, make this tray, or something very, very similar, and so I wanted to give it a try. So I'm just going to use a couple different colors, just white, the bronze, and I'll use some like bronze leaf as well towards the end. The reason I put the clear down is because I wanted it to be more transparent. Whenever you play like a white pigment against clear, it really does bring out really cool effects in the piece, and that's exactly what I was going for, and I feel like I achieved it for the most part. Nonetheless, I am just kind of trying to show you guys a little bit of how I actually stir my pigments in with the resin. I always use these little cups from Dollar Tree. It's super easy to pour and super easy to control the pour when you're pouring in molds like this. I'm trying to figure out the design I want to do. I didn't want like white over the entire piece. Like I said, I wanted it to be relatively transparent. My biggest tip when working with white, make more than what you think you need, because for whatever reason, I'm never able to get the color that I first created back. Whenever you pour 2 different whites against each other, you will be able to tell the difference. And so I didn't have enough white. I had to create a second batch of white, and you can definitely tell the difference in the two, but it worked out just fine. I swirled it around. You'll see that later. So right now I'm just kind of deciding where I want these lines to be. So how I drew these lines on, this is how I kind of wanted the project to end up. If you want the lines to stay like this, then just draw the lines a little bit later, not so soon, because they will spread like mine did. Also, putting heat to the resin will also move it, and so I am very happy with how it came out. My original goal was for the lines to be like more intact, more lines like this, not very spread out. So if you're trying to go for something like that, then just make sure that you put your lines on once a little bit later, like not when the resin is so fluid. So now I am going to try to blend my whites. Also, by doing so, you can see like it's creating just a little bit of a design within the piece here. A couple things I'll say about this. While I'm doing this, I'm being cognizant of a couple things. One, I'm trying to not cross paths with the white and the bronze. Like, I didn't want them to mix and be one color. I really wanted that bronze to be very strong in the piece. Another thing is, when I'm swirling, I'm also making sure that I'm not swirling in the bronze with the white. I'm just trying to swirl the white parts. I am using my popsicle stick to remove some of the like the white resin and push it in other areas that do not have white, because I was trying not to create more white, because I'm like almost done with this piece, so I don't need that much white anyways. So I'm trying to make sure I had a good amount of clear left through for the transparent portion that I wanted. I didn't want to add another white that was gonna, have to be mixed as well. And so I'm trying to keep as much clear in this piece, also a good amount of white to balance it out. I love using popsicle sticks. I get these from the dollar store. It's like $100 for $1, so super inexpensive, right? And I'm never like scraping the bottom of the mold, as I've said like 1,000 times on my videos, but I don't try to scrape the bottom of the mold so it's super mold friendly. I will also say, if you are just getting started with resin, like it's really cool and neat to make your own molds, but like it is a pain and a headache, and it'll deter you away from this like great craft before you even get started. So um, if you're just trying to get started, test out some projects, just get a mold from Amazon. Like they're super super cheap if you have Amazon Prime, because they're super cheap with free shipping. They'll get to you right away. When I first started with resin, I did create my own mold. I had no idea what I was doing or why I was doing it, and it definitely leaked through. So that was very discouraging. And I didn't realize that like the mold that I was creating, it was a tray, like a rectangular tray mold. It took so much resin and I had no idea what I was doing. And it was so thin that I was like, well, I kind of like what I have laid down already, but it's super thin. It's kind of leaking. I don't want to add more. It was just a mess. It was bad. I will actually I did record it. So I'll probably upload it at some point. But yeah, if you are just getting started, just buy a mold. Just buy like one or two molds from Amazon to test the waters so that you can see how like resin plays with against each other. Because also during that first project, I did not mix my resin properly. And so to this day, I still have it. It's very pliable. Like you can bend it at any time because I was weighing out my resin on a scale. But with the resin that I use specifically, like you just have to eye it to make sure that you have the same portions of A and B. So right now I'm trying to pop bubbles, and I'm also trying to make sure that the entire mold's filled out. I didn't want any like part of the mold. This mold is pretty shallow, and so it was easy to like miss a spot. So I'm trying to make sure that I fill the entire mold out, and I'm also trying to use all of my resin right now. But again, the more heat that I put on it, the more that bronze color spread. So blessing and a curse. I love the heat gun. Now I use it a lot to spread colors when I'm looking to have them spread, but I know better to, if I'm like wanting them to stay in place, you can use a torch to pop bubbles. I'll use that sometimes. You can use a heat gun, whatever you have, whatever's convenient for you. Just be cognizant of like the time that you're spending when you're using a heat gun or even a torch as well, because you don't want to burn the molds, and you also like don't want to ruin your project. So at this point I decided that like I needed something else. I liked it. It wasn't what I was really going for, but I kind of liked it. But I was like, I need to do something else. I got this bronze leaf from Be Resin, and because it comes in like a package of 3. You get the silver, gold, and like bronze is just an added bonus. And I never used it before because I didn't have a reason to. At the time, I didn't make projects that needed like bronze leaf. So anyways, I had it, and for some reason I had out the gold leaf, and I was like, oh my god, this one matches perfectly, and I don't foresee me using a ton of this in the future, so I just added it on, and I will say it definitely brought the project together for sure. So another reason I say just to buy a mold and get started is because you definitely want to play around with this stuff. I mean, watching videos of other creators is super, super fun and entertaining and things like that. And their pieces that they make are absolutely beautiful. But you'll never know until you try it how it actually works for you. So just go ahead, buy the mold, buy the resin, Be Resin, of course, and just get started. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any additional questions, please leave them in the comments below.